August 25th, 2025, Washington, D.C. Beneath the iconic columns of the White House, an encounter unfolds that could alter the course of diplomacy on the Korean Peninsula. U.S. President Donald Trump welcomes South Korea's President Lee Jae Myung for his first official visit to Washington. The atmosphere is thick with expectation. At stake are not just relations between Washington and Seoul, but the wars and tensions shaping the world beyond these walls. Inside the Oval Office, the two men sit side by side, their words measured, but their intentions unmistakable. For Trump, this is a chance to reassert himself as the indispensable dealmaker. For Lee, it is an opportunity to secure a commitment on what he calls the last remaining dividing issue in the world, the Korean Peninsula. But before turning to North Korea, Trump addresses another battlefield, Ukraine. Speaking to reporters, he stresses that peace must come from the two parties directly involved, Russia and Ukraine. It takes two to tango, he says, repeating one of his favoured phrases. He insists that while both sides want him at the negotiating table, his advice has been consistent: work it out yourselves. This is between you, not us. Yet he cannot resist the reminder that under his presidency, Russia's invasion never began, a claim that underscores both his confidence and his political messaging at home. Then the focus shifts. Lee Jae Myung, speaking through a translator, begins with compliments. He praises Trump's leadership, pointing to America's economic resurgence and record-breaking stock market highs as proof that the U.S. is, in his words, becoming great again. It is more than flattery. For Lee, building rapport with Trump is essential. He knows that America's willingness to engage with North Korea has always hinged on Trump's personal instincts as much as on traditional diplomacy. And then comes the extraordinary moment. Lee leans forward and asks for Trump's help in establishing peace on the Korean Peninsula. He paints a vision that startles even seasoned reporters in the room, a future where Trump meets North Korean leader Kim Jong Un, where the dividing line of history begins to fade, and where, perhaps as a symbol of reconciliation, a Trump Tower could rise in North Korea. Lee even imagines the two leaders playing golf on its grounds. It is a suggestion at once audacious and surreal. For some, it sounds like a light-hearted jest. For others, it is a creative, if desperate, appeal to Trump's business-driven worldview. A Trump Tower in Pyongyang may sound fantastical, but in a region where symbolism often matters more than substance, the idea carries a strange kind of weight. This is not the first time the notion of development has been tied to North Korea's future. In past meetings with Kim Jong Un, Trump himself dangled the promise of investment, tourism and construction projects, painting a picture of skyscrapers and beaches replacing missiles and military parades. Lee's words revive that vision, suggesting that economic dreams could one day serve as the scaffolding for peace. Yet the challenges remain immense. North Korea has shown no sign of abandoning its nuclear arsenal. Years of negotiations have collapsed in frustration, and human rights concerns continue to overshadow any economic promises. Critics argue that no tower, no matter whose name is written across its top floor, can erase decades of mistrust and repression. Still, for Seoul, even the smallest opening is worth pursuing. Lee Jae Myung's gamble is clear. If appealing to Trump's sense of legacy, ambition and personal brand can spark dialogue, then perhaps a window for peace can be forced open. In the hard realities of Korean diplomacy, sometimes it takes a grand gesture to move a single inch. As the meeting ends, the two leaders shake hands, presenting an image of unity to the world. For Trump, it is another opportunity to stand as the man who can cut through decades of stalemate with a single bold idea. For Lee, it is a chance to remind Washington and Pyongyang that South Korea is determined to pursue peace, no matter how unconventional the path may be. Whether the idea of a Trump Tower in North Korea is remembered as a joke, a provocation, or the seed of a historic breakthrough remains to be seen. But on this August afternoon in Washington, one truth is undeniable. When it comes to peace on the Korean Peninsula, politics and spectacle often march hand in hand. And sometimes the most extravagant visions reveal the deepest hopes for an end to division. I believe that making America great again is your goal, and I believe that is what is currently taking place in America.
Immediately upon that phone call, you started selling tickets, and it turned out to be a tremendous success.
And in the Middle East, are coming to peace because of the role that you are playing. 세계 nation in the world is the Korean Peninsula, and I would like to ask for your role in establishing peace.
America. And I think the most symbolic thing of that is the Dow Jones Index, which reached a record high recently, although it went down a bit. But it reached a record.
No agenda is set.
Well, that's going to be up to them. It takes two to tango. I always say it. And they should meet, I think, before I have a meeting and probably close the deal. But I think it's appropriate they meet. They do not exactly get along well, as you can understand. So I believe that we're going to get that war straightened out. We're going to get it done. I don't know that they'll meet. Maybe they will. Maybe they won't. They'd like me to be at the meeting. I said, you guys ought to work it out. It's between you. It's not us. Now, in the meantime, yeah, there could be very big consequences, but we'll see what happens. There might be very big consequences because this is something that has to end. This war would have never taken place, and for 4 years it didn't take place. But if I were president, this war would have never taken place.
High. And so I think that America is becoming great again, America. And I think the most symbolic thing of that is the Dow Jones Index, which reached a record high recently, although it went down a bit. But it reached a record high. I would like to mention that the only remaining dividing issue in the world is the Korean Peninsula. And I would like to ask for your role in establishing peace on the Korean Peninsula. So I look forward to your meeting with Chairman Kim Jong Un and the construction of a Trump Tower in North Korea and playing golf at that place.